begin creating an array. Same thing, data type name, we just add one little thing, we add an asterisk. So if I'm going to have an array of integers, I need to do an asterisk to say it's an array. And I'll call this input array. Make a second array, we call sorted array. And as we sort out all the inputs, we'll put those values into this other array. So we just have two integer arrays. Array for the input. That's common. Let me make another int. Yeah, right. Oh, yes. Oh, let me talk about it again. I always forget. Feel free to shout at me if my font is small. I'll do it right now. I've got to turn line numbers on again. Cool. We have two arrays. I'm going to add another variable. This one will be called, let's say, array length. We're going to use this to ask the user how long they want their list to be. Okay. So we'll tell the user what we need them to do. So I'll do a cout. How many items, or if I want to be really proper about this, maybe I'll even say, welcome to the Magic Burger. Jazz up some of our output. And in these lines, you don't need to copy exactly. This is just what I feel like I'm going to print to the screen. You can call it anything you want. The important thing is we need to get that user input. So in, we're grabbing the input from our speech stream. We're going to store that as array length. Now the user decides how long our array is going to be, how many numbers we're going to take in. After that, what can we do now? Now that we have the length of the array, what can we do?
Sorry?
Okay. What is this statement called?
Input.
You can.
What type of statement?
Oh,
This is a declaration. Correct. This is a variable declaration.
Right.
So we have yet to do what to it? What do we have to do to this variable? Initialize it. Now that we know the length of our array, we can initialize that array. So the input array. Now, unlike other data types, we have to do a special initialization for arrays, right? We have to use a keyword called new. And then in these brackets, I put the length of my new array, which happens to be array length. For other data types, right, we can usually just give a value, right? If I have my int array length, I can just initialize it to be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever I want. Input array leads to the new statement. Right, so now that we have this array, we've told the computer, all right, here's how many slots we need to reserve it. And it's done that. We can do the same for our sorted array right now for width. Right, I just need the same initialization, it's supposed to be a new array with the length based on the user input. So they have an input list of 5 numbers. That sorted result should also have the same 5 numbers. So I'll say sorted array equals new in, right? So there's both now initialized. We can go ahead and we can grab the input. We'll set up a for loop.
Understood.
So I'm going to start counting at 0, so long as the current count is less than the final total, which happens to be our array length. Keep counting up. This is that fancy for loop we learned last time. Right? And you just write for, and then you put in 3 things. The first thing is the initial value for whoever's counting. In this case, you can also declare and initialize a variable at the same time. Unlike a while statement where you would have to work with variables you already created, I can create a variable right here, and the scope of that variable will not exceed my for loop. That means that this int I doesn't exist anywhere except for here. This is the only place where I exist. Now again, 4 statements take 3 things. Who's in charge, what the condition is, and what to do every time it succeeds on the condition. So int I equals 0, so long as that count I is less than the length of the array, count up. We'll do the same 2 things. We'll say enter value I plus 1. Right, so it's going to print out the screen. It's going to say enter value 1. And it's going to ask enter value 2, enter value 3, and so on. And we need to get that value. The input will be stored in our array, our input array. At which position? Which position should I store the user input? This is for loop, you guys.
Input array.
Input array is just a list. And every position in that list is assigned a number. So if you run through and I say I'm going to store 4 things, right? If my user input at this point, if I press the number 4 and I hit enter, 4 will get stored as array length. When I when I initialize my input array, what's the length of input array going to be? If it's 4. 4. Exactly. We'll say, in this example, we're using the number 4. How many times is this for loop going to execute? How many times are the brackets going to execute?
What? 4 times.
4 times. It's going to execute at 0 because that's less than 4. It's going to execute at 1 because 1 is less than 4. 2 is less than 4. And 3 is less than 4. 4 times. 0, 1, 2, 3. Because remember, computers count starting with 0. So if I want to store an input, right, and this is going to happen 4 times, so I'm going to store 4 numbers. Where should I store the first number? Which position in my input array? Position 0. On the first run, if I is 0, that's how I can reference the first position. I can just say, store the input in position I. When this executes the first time, it'll say enter value 0 plus 1. It'll say enter value 1. I'll type it in, I'll pick a number, and it will store that in the 0 position of the array. The second time, this will have executed, so I will now be 1. It'll ask enter value 2. And we'll store that in what position? I is what right now?
0.
It is 1. On the second run of this for
second run.
Because I is going to increment.
Yeah.
On the third run, it'll be stored into position 2. And on the third run, thank you. On the fourth run, it'll be 3. And I will then get added up to be 4, and it will stop running. So this way, every new input goes into a new position. This for loop does input and nothing else. We're going to do nothing else in that for loop. At this point, right, once we're past the for loop, we have an array of numbers of some length. The computer knows the length, because that's currently stored here. And if we're going with 4, then we know we're going to have a length of 4. But currently our code will support any input, any length of list. Right, if I do 9, this will happen 9 times. Cool. Here's where things are going to get a little trickier. Here's what we need to do the sorting. I'm going to write a for loop. So it's very similar to my last for loop. I can use the same name, I can use this int I, because this int I has stopped existing. Right? Is for loop finished? This was initialized and declared in this for loop. It doesn't exist anymore. I can have something else named I. Alright, so now let's figure out how we're going to do sorting. I've written this for loop to say we want to run through all of our inputs. And this is where it's not a bad idea as a programmer. You want to just write down the individual steps you want to do. Because there's actually a lot of different ways to tackle sorting. One of the worst ones is called bubble sorting. All bubble sorting does is it asks if the person to the left of you is less than or greater than. And it just swaps those two. And then it runs through the whole list and says, are they in order? If they're not, it'll make one more swap. Then it's going to run through the whole list again and ask if they're in order. If not, it makes a single swap. Bubble sort is a very inefficient way to do it, but it is a solution. It's just one that takes the computer a long time. So just check every single time it makes a position change. It asks, am I done? We're going to do something a little more intelligent. We're going to use the second array, sorted array. We're going to find the lowest number in our list. And we're going to try and put it in our array and put our array in order. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our first element. Okay, and we want to make sure we don't put the same element into our array multiple times. So we'll just go one by one. We'll ask who is the current lowest. So the thing, this is a good question. We need to. There's a couple things we can do actually. We can also ask who in our current array has been sorted, right? So we can do a third array that just keeps track of who's already in the list. Because we need to keep track of who's been sorted and which values have been sorted. I'm going to make an array of booleans. And I'll call this So for this first for loop, after our input, all it's going to do is set every value which has been sorted to false, because nothing has been sorted at the beginning. And I'll make one more boolean. This one's not an array, it's just a normal boolean. We'll call this is sorted. We'll put it as a false. That boolean is going to be used to check if everything's in order.
Do we put that in comments?
See that?
Do we put that in comments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You put that in comments? If you want to, if you want to put that in comments, check. Sure. Just make sure it's sorted. Cool. We're going to use a while statement. We're going to say while is sorted as false to this code. Now because is sorted as a boolean, I can just say while is not sorted. And that for loop or that while loop will run. So every time it's going to check, it's sorted as set to true. The first thing we can check is this is sorted. What if the user inputted a list that is already in order? We'll do it on a for loop. What should we ask? What should we do to check out if something is sorted in ascending order?
What should we do? Check if it's sorted.
What does it mean to have a list sorted in ascending order?
We go from 1, 2, 3, 4.
Numbers go up, right?
Yeah.
Ascending. So every entry should have a value greater than the entry before it. Every entry should be less than the entry after it, right?
Yeah.
So we can ask if input array of I is less than got it. We should actually be checking the sorted array first. We don't ever want to ruin our input array because that's the one that we need to put in. We don't ever keep track of what the whole numbers, what all the numbers are. So that's the help of the try to sort that. Instead of doing input array, I'm going to do sorted array. So if our current number is less than the number that comes after it, so we'll say I plus 1, then we sorted it, everything's fine. So that's not the case. So if it's not less than, it's greater than or equal to, is sorted, would be false. Everyone understand this while loop right now? So while, because is sorted starts false, it'll enter our first while loop. The first thing we'll do is we'll say is sorted is true. It says, I think I am sorted. Then it's going to check. If it's wrong, is sorted is set to false again. Now because we're checking the current position of I against the next position, I plus 1, that means we should actually stop counting at the end. We should say array length minus 1. Because that last entry shouldn't be checking for the guy after him. There's no one after him. Right?
After it was sorted.
Correct.
Okay.
If I said you have 4 numbers, we check for the first number. We say, is the first number less than the second number? Is the second number less than the third number? Is the third number less than the fourth number? We should stop checking. We shouldn't ask if the fourth number is less than the fifth, because there is no fifth number. That's why this loop is going to stop one short. going to assume it's sorted. It's going to check everything. If anything turns up wrong, then it's not sorted. We should first find the first lowest value. So we can write another for loop. You guys see how this is going? So I'll make a variable. I'll call this int lowest number, and I'll set it to our first input array. Input array of 0. So we'll run through all the numbers. We'll say, is there a number lower than what I think? The lowest number is the first entry. Let's run through the other entries, see if there's anything lower. Maybe we make a lowest position. We'll set that to 0. Something like that. Right? Lowest number is at the position, lowest position, which for now, we're going to default it to 0. It has to have some value, or we can't make comparisons. Is the first entry probably going to be the lowest? We don't know. It was just however the user chose to input them. But we need to start somewhere. So we'll skip if I equals lowest position. Skip it. Right? So make sure that these don't equal each other. If we're not currently checking ourselves, then let's go ahead and check ourselves against every other number. For position.
Yes, on the mouse for loop, for the one connecting, shouldn't be anything that's breaking.
Oh, good catch. I tried to type in I. That was just the error. Yes. J equals 0. J less than array length. Actually, we don't need to say equal it. I apologize. We can just go check here, right? If lowest number, or if input array of our current position is less than what it thinks the current number is, lowest number. And the new lowest number equal that new number. You gotta throw that new position. Okay, so this for loop right now, we'll find the lowest number. Okay? Anyone have any questions right now? No one has any questions? Okay. When this for loop is finished, you will have the first lowest number. We should put that into our sorted array. Sorted array of 0 equals input array. Sorry, equals number cool. And has been sorted. Position in lowest position equals true. Don't have any questions right now. Don't have any questions. Okay. Let's talk about what the code says right now, though. I said sorted array of 0, right? All we've done is we found the lowest number once. After we find the first lowest number of the whole group, we need to find of whoever's left over. Who's the lowest of that group, right? What we're going to do is we're going to check the remaining group of numbers each time. So we need to find a way to make sure we're not checking the same numbers against each other. Right? If we have duplicate numbers in our input list, it's not good enough to just say, hey, I already have a 1 in my sorted list. I don't need any more 1s. That's not true. If there were 5 1s in the input list, we should have all 5 of those 1s in our sorted array. So it's not good enough just to ask, is the newest lowest different from what's already in my list? That's why we're having this other array called has been sorted. We need to check to see if their position in input, since that's never going to change. If it matches someone already in our list, we shouldn't store that number twice. So we're making these checks right here. The first check is to say, don't check yourself. If you're the current lowest number, you win. But we need some more. You make sure that you're not already in the sorted list. So it has been sorted of I. Should be false. Right? If you're not the current lowest, and you're not already sorted, then we can check. That way when this happens the second time, it's going to keep excluding whoever it finds here. So instead of just saying sorted array of 0, we need to keep track of whatever the next empty spot in the array is. So I can write a variable called next empty spot. I'll put under sorted array. We'll say next sort position. We'll set it to 0 at the beginning. So I can say next sort position equals our current champion, and next sort position plus plus. I'm moving very quickly today, so please stop me, ask questions.
In a sec.
Okay. Does everyone understand why we need to keep track of next sort position? The first time we run, we're looking for the lowest number of anything they've ever put in. But the second time, we're looking for the second lowest number. We need to make sure that we know which position in the list we're having a competition for. If we're having a race for first, I know that only the first person across that finish line counts. But if you told me to keep track it's a race for second, I have to make sure that when I'm keeping up who is the fastest, I exclude anyone who's already across the finish line. The first guy across, I have to forget about. So with keeping track of our lowest numbers, we find the lowest number. Then the second time, we find the lowest number of who's left. We have to exclude whoever is already in our list. So the next sort position is saying that this guy who's the lowest is still second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place, and so on. So we run through it all. We say, I'll just switch these now. We'll say, don't check against ourselves, the lowest number, and don't check against anyone who's already been sorted, because you don't need to beat someone who's already in first. If you're racing for second, don't worry about it. And this will always reset to 0. Lowest position is keeping track of just who the current champion is.